Hello, everyone. Welcome to Skyline News Stream here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm Wiyag Mofwebe. The outcome of Saturday's Osun State governorship election is already generating political reactions ahead of the 2027 general election. Opposition groups say Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory demonstrates what can happen when opposition forces unite, with some calling on political parties to adopt the Osun strategy as they prepare to challenge the ruling APC in 2027. Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has denied reports that he reached an agreement with President Bola Tinubu over his political support ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Adeleke's clarification comes amid growing speculation over his political direction following his victory in the Osun governorship election, with both the presidency and opposition groups reportedly seeking his support. Presidential candidates from Accord, the African Action Congress, and the Social Democratic Party are moving towards a political alliance ahead of the 2027 presidential election. The parties say they want to overcome divisions within the opposition and provide Nigerians with a stronger alternative to the ruling APC amid concerns over the concentration of political power. 10 police officers and 2 civilians have been killed during a fierce gun battle between security forces and suspected armed gangs in Sakaba local government area of Kebbi State. Police authorities say 17 suspected members of the armed group were also killed during the confrontation, while 2 police officers sustained injuries. The incident highlights the continuing security challenges across Nigeria's northwest. Nigerian troops have fought an attempted attack by suspected bandits in communities around Mango local government area of Plateau State. The operation by troops of Operation Enduring Peace was aimed at preventing attacks on residents and protecting farming communities and their farmlands from armed groups. Nigeria and the United Kingdom are deepening cooperation on security, with discussions focusing on terrorism, organized crime, illicit finance, cyber threats, and other emerging security challenges. The partnership is expected to strengthen intelligence sharing and improve the capacity of both countries to tackle threats that increasingly operate across national borders. And now time to turn to business. The Debt Management Office, DMO, says it is offering federal government bonds worth 1.1 trillion naira to investors as part of the country's efforts to raise funds through the domestic debt markets. The latest bond offer comes as the government continues to use the capital market to finance its spending and manage its growing financing requirements. The Bank of Industry (BOI) has recorded strong demand for its debut 250 billion naira bond, with the offer reportedly attracting significant investor interest. The successful fundraising provides fresh capital for the development finance institution, as well as underscores continued investor appetite for high-quality Nigerian debt instruments. As we take a break now, rest assured we have more stories for you shortly. Stay with us. Now time to some sporting news. Nigeria's Super Falcons will not feature at the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup after their disappointing campaign at the WAFCON. The setback has generated widespread criticism, with questions now being raised about the team's preparation, technical direction, and the future of the Nigeria Football Federation leadership. In the meantime, the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) has moved to review the country's recent football setbacks following the Super Falcons' failure to qualify for the 2027 Women's World Cup. The development comes amid growing calls for accountability and a reassessment of the country's football development as well as administration. The Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu says he is not afraid of losing his job following Nigeria's failure to qualify for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Madugu's position comes as pressure mounts on the technical team and football administrators to explain the disappointing outcome for one of Africa's most successful women's football sides. Now to entertainment, drama continues in the Big Brother Naija Season 11 Shoya Safe House following the eviction of housemate Kamsi Uzoma. Kamsi became the third housemate to leave the reality show during Sunday night's live eviction after receiving 2.41% of the viewers' votes. The 24-year-old event planner and gifts curator had spent 3 weeks in the house. Her exit has already triggered reactions across social media, with fans debating voting power, alliances, and the strategies being used by the remaining housemates. The Nigerian music industry is also witnessing a growing dispute involving music executive Dapaman. The executive has responded to allegations made by artists including Sheyi Vibes, Charlie Poppy, and T.I. Blaze, as he has records to establish his position. The dispute has generated intense reactions from music fans, with conversations focusing on artist contracts, royalties, catalog ownership, and transparency within Nigeria's music industry. Beyond Nigeria now, South African superstar Tyler is taking her pop era to audiences around the world with her first major headline world tour. The Pop World Tour will take the Grammy-winning singer across Europe, North America, and Africa, supporting her latest album. The tour is scheduled to begin in Paris in October before moving through several major international cities. We'll take you to the foreign scene for global stories after this break. Please do stay with us. Let's jump on the foreign scene now, where United States President Donald Trump's envoys are intensifying diplomatic efforts to secure a new peace agreement for Gaza. Trump's son-in-law and envoy, Jared Kushner, has held talks with Hamas representatives in Egypt, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected key elements of the proposed US-backed plan, particularly the timing of Hamas disarmament and Israeli troop withdrawal. Diplomatic efforts to end the Gaza conflict are continuing despite renewed Israeli airstrikes. The United States, Egypt, Qatar, and other regional players are pushing for an agreement involving a halt to hostilities, Hamas disarmament, Israeli withdrawal, and the establishment of a civilian administration in Gaza. Diplomatic efforts between the United States and Iran have stalled, raising fresh concerns over tensions in the Middle East. Shipping through the strategic important Strait of Hormuz has dropped sharply, while oil prices remain elevated as markets assess the possibility of further disruption to global energy supplies. Elsewhere, fresh Russian attacks have hit parts of Ukraine, including the city of Kryvyi, where a missile strike struck the site of the country's largest steel producer. The latest attacks come as the war continues, with renewed international attention on the humanitarian and economic consequences of the prolonged conflict. Meanwhile, global energy markets are closely watching developments around the Strait of Hormuz after shipping activity through the strategic waterway fell sharply. Brent crude was trading around $89 per barrel on Monday as investors weighed stalled US-Iran negotiations and the possibility that further attacks could disrupt oil infrastructure and international supplies. Evidently, that's a developing story there on the foreign scene, which